So if you've been living in Europe and playing Vanguard and buying Vanguard cards apart from just buying boxes in your locals, you've probably had to buy some cards online. Now most of us here in Europe, we've either traded or sold our cards through like Facebook groups in terms of just selling them just on the group and then posting them to the people, or we've bought cards on eBay. Sometimes even use TCG Player, like even though it's American based so the shipping is a bit more, but sometimes those times come, or using various like card shop websites that like get their initial stock and then they blow through it and that's it. So those have been mostly the only ways that us Europeans have had to, go through buying our cards. However, there is now a self-contained European market on Cardmarket Vanguard. Now for those of you that may have played Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon, or still play it obviously, you probably have heard of Cardmarket, especially if you live in Europe obviously, and Cardmarket is essentially sort of like an eBay but just for card games, and recently they opened up a section for both Vanguard and Dragonborn. Now it is based in Germany, but it works in the entirety of Europe, not just EU, but Europe as a whole, but it doesn't go outside of Europe. And just as a disclaimer, this is not a sponsored video or anything. I've had no contact with Cardmarket themselves. This is just like a video that I want to do myself for the sake of our European community. Some of the many great things about Cardmarket is that you can obviously buy cards and sell cards, as well as check price trends and stuff like that. But the best part is that you buy these cards from different sellers, and it essentially works in a way like eBay, that you can see each seller's like rating, how long it takes them to get to you. Usually I think this isn't enabled in the Vanguard one yet, but on like the Yu-Gi-Oh or like Pokemon versions of Cardmarket, you can see how long a certain like really trusted seller, how long they take on average to deliver to your country. And now the way that you rate sellers is that like there's some sellers that are like professional in terms of that they have their own shops, and this is actually the shops selling their stock through Cardmarket. I know a lot of shops do this, and I'm pretty sure even my local Games Tower does that for Magic. And then you can have obviously like personal sellers, like people like me for example. I can put up my stuff to sell on Cardmarket, and so I can sell my cards and people can buy my cards, and I can also buy cards on my own because I'm just a private person. Now another thing is that when you look up a card in Cardmarket, you can check obviously you can check the rarity, so you can get like a normal base rarity, or you can get the SP if there's an available, or a promo version if there's available. And then you can also see how much stock of each card there is, as well as their starting price, so the cheapest that it goes for on Cardmarket, as well as the trending price, so what most people are pricing the card at. There's also a handy graph on each card's page that has like a history of the price. Unless it's like super new, then maybe there won't be one yet, but normally this is a thing that you have for most cards. But now the one thing that even for my other card games, like I didn't use Cardmarket that much at first because I was always like, oh, I have to buy these cards from different sellers and then I have to pay shipping to each seller and it adds up. But then I was enlightened that actually on Cardmarket you can use the wants list feature, which allows you to essentially go to the wants list and then you make a new list of wants, and then you write in every single card that you need, its quantity, its like minimal condition that you want it in. Usually I put excellent because that's below mint, but it's still very good. And then I, put like, if you want it like signed, usually put no, and then you just like fill in all the details, the amount of the card you want, and like you can even put a base price that you're willing to pay for it. And so you put that wants list, and then the website will generate for you a list of matches. And so then it will give you a list of sellers and how many of each item they match. So let's say if you have 30 cards in your wants list, and let's say there's like one seller that has all 30 cards that you want, but maybe it's a bit too expensive. But then there might be the second seller that has 29 of the 30 cards that you want, but for much cheaper. So then you might like get those 29 from that one guy, and then find a cheaper like person for that one card you're missing. So you can do these kind of things, but the wants list is really important because you can get all of your stuff at once, so you don't have to pay extra shipping costs, and you just pay shipping costs to one person. And in terms of paying for your cards, you can either use bank transfer, which is very common in Europe, or you can also use PayPal. Now selling cards over there is also simple as well. I haven't done it myself yet, but I am planning to. But there is a handy video that they've done for Yu-Gi-Oh where they like show how to sell cards. Essentially you choose whether you want to sell them one by one or in bulk. And then you essentially list them off, you list their condition, if they're like SP or like base rarity, and then like the price, obviously how much you're going to sell it for, as well as any other noteworthy details. And then once somebody buys your cards, you're going to receive an email that somebody has, paid you, they've bought the cards, and then you're going to have to ship them out the next day. And like Cardmarket makes like when you start up as a seller, they will tell you, what kind of shipping method you need to use depending on the amount that you're being paid for. And don't forget, when you do buy cards, that once they arrive, you need to mark that they've arrived on the website so the seller actually knows. You can give feedback, you know, what kind of condition, if you're happy with everything, and any comments. Usually it's best if you do have a problem to resolve it privately with the seller, but you know, you can always just like leave the rating as it should be. But no, most of the time, like I've never had a bad experience in Cardmarket, like knock on wood, but I've always had a good experience with all the sellers that I've like bought cards from, so usually it's quite fine. Now don't forget, this is European only, so this is going to be finally a self-contained European market. That is the best part about it, and so I really wanted to share this with you guys because for us Europeans, we've always had to rely on the prices of Americans and like all the prices that are happening on TCG Player and like what the states decide the price should be. So in Europe we often like, it's very rare that we like set it aside and do our own thing. So now with Cardmarket we can actually look at it. So I encourage you, if you're a seller, to put up your cards there and start selling through there because it's going to be more efficient for you. There's going to be more people looking at it, more people buying it, and so I think that's going to be a very good thing. As well as for you people that are, you know, interested in buying cards, then I suggest that you go check out Cardmarket, and if there's any cards you want right now, they might just be right there. And now the other really nice thing is when you sign up for a Cardmarket account, you can actually use a referral username. So you simply, when you sign up, if they ask who referred you, you can type in DifferentFight, and then we're going to have a sort of referral bonus, and I'll get something and you'll get something, and that's very nice. On top of that, I'm going to have a link in the description where you can sign up using my referral link as well, so that's going to be very nice for all of us. So that's going to be it for me today. I just really want to talk to you guys about Cardmarket. I've been meaning to make this video for a while. You can also check out Zistral's video on YellowCard Vanguard about, you know, just spending your money efficiently in terms of Vanguard, so that's also a very good video, and he also, I think, mentions Cardmarket, so that's a good thing to keep in mind. So I'll also leave a link to that in the description, unless it's not already up by the time I'm uploading this, in which case it will be there once it's up. So that's going to be it for me. Don't forget to check out the social media in the description, as well as join the Discord channel where you can talk to me as well as any others that watch my content. So that's going to be it for me today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.